Chris Rock is promoting his season of Fargo. I don't know how many fans of Fargo we have, but that show is incredible. If you haven't seen the first, this is season 4, correct?
Chris Rock doing a lot of his version of things right now. That's what's up.
Yeah. This is season 4, right? Or 5?
4. Let me check.
Yeah, check. But he's promoting his season of Fargo, where he plays a black Kansas City mobster. But he's doing his press run, and I look forward to press runs for projects that I'm not passionate about.
Is that like True Detective, or like changes?
Where changes exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Because Billy Bob was like the first one, wasn't he? Or something like that?
Season 1, yes, Billy Bob Thornton. Yep.
Okay.
So season 1 of Fargo. You still checking, Lex?
Yeah.
4th
season.
This is the 4th season, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So Chris Rock is promoting the 4th season of Fargo, doing his press. Even before that, his GQ piece, he spoke about his battle with, it's not Asperger's, but it's on the spectrum of Asperger's. Damn. Oh,
Like in real life?
nonverbal learning disorder.
Yeah.
Or nonverbal.
He said he doesn't get like verbal cues.
Yeah, exactly. Basically,
He doesn't catch verbal.
he doesn't catch verbal cues, nonverbal cues, and something insane like 75% of our communication is nonverbal, which is why it's a thing, right? Being real niggas read the room. Basically, we've been saying that for a few episodes now. Couple of angles I wanted to approach it from, and it hit me hard because Chris Rock is he in his 50s?
Yeah, he gotta be.
Got it. Yeah.
That's a cold version of Asperger's to receive. Cause like that sucks for like the
55.
majority of.
Chris Rock is 55, recently divorced, father,
That would mean like no relationships will work.
and that's what his point was. He's like, none of his relationships have been able to be successful because he's walked around with this deficiency. But I wanted to ask a question to you fellas. How much has that served his success?
Well, it allows you to trek on, so it allows you to not think about other people's reaction to things, which allows you to just live within a truth for yourself without having to worry about the consequences from others. So that does well especially for comedy, stand-up comedy for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're just listening to laughs and you can't tell like when somebody's like uneasy or against it or something like that,
The joke matters more than how niggas feel about it.
completely.
Yeah.
So that goes a long way for comedy.
Got you. And so that was the thought I had. That was the thought I had initially. It's like, damn, how much has this it's not a mental illness. I forget what it's categorized as.
It's a syndrome.
Syndrome. How much has that served his success? Then I start thinking about I'm doing this really fun thing where I'm both journaling, I'm writing, and I'm doing audio journaling now every day, and I uncovered something in the audio version of it that I'm more inclined to unpack things that impacted me during that day and why it impacted me, and so I believe it was Wednesday where I just had one of the most amazing creative days ever. I believe that was Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. But it was like, I woke up hella early and like did a virtual meeting. We had amazing dialogue. Left said meeting to get to a session on time and did all that before fucking like 10:30. And it was like, damn, that was an awesome day. It's like, no nigga, the day's just starting. Left there. Jane had a session in the East. Went to her session and was like, damn, this is amazing. Then left the session and went. This was all over the place, but it was just like all like the ability to bounce in between these different parts of the brain too. So we're talking about creatively, production leader, some sort of admin role, like these different parts of the brain that don't overlap. You can't. You got to compartmentalize them because it's not the same thing. And for whatever reason, in between all of that shit, I was listening to Chris Rock's interview. And I'm like, huh. And then I had this vivid ass flashback to this man coming to my parents' apartment in San Leandro off of MacArthur, and he had this fucking briefcase. And they set me down, and I took this test, and then they went and sat in the living room, and he started talking to my parents, and then they came back, and he was like, yo, you got these books. And it was the Hooked on Phonics dude. And then I start replaying that shit back so vividly, bro, I could smell what moms was cooking. Like that type of weird shit. And I go, what did I test? And how bad was it? Because I was on the spectrum for something, and it just never got talked about. Mm-hmm. And how terrifying that must have been for my parents, and how much of my existence has been going out of their way to accommodate whatever that deficiency, air quote, is. And I started thinking about what a struggle, like pre-K through fourth grade was for me until I met the most amazing teacher ever, Mr. Harrison. Shout out Mr. Harrison. But everything felt backwards as fuck up until that point, because it was always just mad linear. Mm-hmm. And I don't think my brain works like that to this day. Like it still doesn't. And I don't know if it's dyslexia or whatever, but it's something to the point that we're fourth grade, and it was like the end of fourth grade, like the end of the year, like it was a fucking struggle. And then out of nowhere, Mr. Harrison goes, oh, he's a creative writer, he's fine. And then literally he would frame everything through the lens of that. Mm-hmm. Cause it's like, everybody was just like, hey, it's just this. And I'm like, no, it can't be just that. Cause who told y'all that this was that? Can we go find that nigga first? And it's like, fam, no. You don't understand how math works. It's like, it's just addition. But who said it was addition? Can we go have that conversation?
Right.
And they're like, no, we can't. And I'm like, well, why? And so now, because you can't explain to me why, I don't know why I need to do this, nigga, because you can't tell me how we even got to this point. So what we doing? I need to know the story that got us here so I could have a better affinity for why the fuck we're doing it.
Right.
Mr. Harrison was the only motherfucker to understand like why that was so important. So then he would go out of his way to explain what a haiku was and why a haiku was hella tight. All right, who's your favorite rapper? And I walk in with whose world is this? But this is like right when you could start printing lyrics, and I walked in with that. And he's like, what's your favorite lines in there? And he explained what a haiku, what Nas was doing, and like breaking down Nas lyrics. I'm like, oh, nigga, this makes sense. I'm all in on English now. You know, and it's like, how much do our deficiencies, air quote again, serve us in the lens of pursuits of passion? Chris Rock knew what his passion was. But you got wife, you got children. You're a productive citizen. You need to grow. You need to evolve, and you need to acquire new tools. So yes, please help me identify what I'm lacking so I can become better. But I need to unpack it and learn it in a way that is going to serve said passion, not completely undermine it.
Yeah, that's what they said though. For like when we was having that conversation about school and stuff like that, mm-hmm. It really comes down to how much time is spent on each individual's specific deal, because we are born with completely different situations that's going on with us as individuals.
Got you.
But we're in a learning system that caters to doing things like cookie cutter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's not everybody's learning. Not the way that everybody else learns, mm-hmm. but that's the way that we're teaching each other, which is the reason why it's like a make or break moment for each and every person when it comes to going to school. To be put into a space where you are going into the work field. Like they just want to put you into the work field somehow, some way. So this is how they map out which type of work field you're going into, like, yeah. You know what I mean? So that's kind of it's just weeding through each individual.
Yeah.